What's up guys, Kuro the Artist here. With the release of the third and final special this year titled Alien X-Tinction, the Ben 10 2016 reboot has finally come to an end. Regardless of your thoughts on this series, you have to admit it was quite a wild ride. Towards the end, the series kept pushing the boundaries further and further past what the reboot was originally conceived for, almost to the point that it started feeling like a different show. And I'll admit, I was on board for a lot of their ideas and concepts. But perhaps the craziest thing they did was something that fans have been speculating or at least hoping they would do for years: a full-fledged crossover between the reboot continuity and the Prime continuity. We've known from the first 4 shows that Ben Prime is no stranger to multiversal meetups. And while I would have been happy with at least a cameo of Ben Prime, the reboot took the extra step and not only featured him as a supporting character, but brought along every other main iteration of Ben from the franchise.
Catchphrase on 3. It's hero time!
But if there's 4 Bens there, they can't all be Ben Prime, right? So which one of them really is our Ben? I've seen tons of speculation of people saying it's the same Ben just at 4 different points in time. Others saying at Alien Force is the Ben Prime, they just went back in time. Others saying that the Omniverse looking one is the true Ben Prime. But me personally, I don't believe any of them are. And here's why. For one, they make it pretty clear in the special that they are traveling across universes, not through time. In fact, Maximilian even goes out of his way to make that distinction.
Future Max.
Alternate dimension. But close enough. Not future. Alternate.
Meaning that every Ben in this special exists at the current age they are in that dimension. So that automatically rules out classic Alien Force and Ultimate Alien Ben being Ben Prime, as we've already seen an older version of him, Omniverse Ben, in the series. If that's not enough for you, there's some smaller facts included, such as young Ben referring to Gwen primarily as Lucky Girl, as if that's something that she is all the time.
Lucky Girl, we could use one of your spells right about now!
Which most certainly doesn't happen in the classic series.
I guess I could just be me. Looks like the magic's gone, and Lucky Girl along with it.
So maybe this classic Ben is from a universe where Gwen didn't smash the charms and decided to learn magic full-fledged. Alien Force Ben has a little bit of speculation involved. For one, when they mention Alien X to him, he says that that's not what they call him.
You know Alien X?
That's not what we call him.
We?
The plumbers, hello?
And we all know that with Ben Prime, when he has a named transformation of an existing species, he just refers to that species as his alien name.
He's really a gray matter?
The Shock Squatch guy can't attack if he's insulated!
One way big.
Wild Mutts, you're up, Chuck. Be up, Chuck.
Chromastone, you're alive. Freaky brainstorm guy!
So if Ben had Alien X at that time, he most certainly would be calling that celestial sapien Alien X.
You know Alien X?
That's not what we call him.
Now, you could just argue that this Ben is from a universe where he hasn't unlocked Alien X yet, but he also refers to being a plumber.
Intergalactic Law Enforcement Agency, and I'm one of them.
Something he didn't become until Dark Star Rising, after he unlocked Alien X.
If you can reach your Omnitrix, maybe Alien X.
And didn't even get officially inducted until the next series Ultimate Alien in the episode Basic Training. He also talks about Max as if he's not currently missing and undercover during the hybrid invasion right now. So this Alien Force Ben doesn't have Alien X, but is a plumber with Max on his side. But regardless, the universe travel versus time travel explanation already debunks that's Alien Force Ben regardless.
Not future. Alternate.
And with Ultimate Alien Ben, well, his Ultimatrix is on backwards. And that's not an animation error, because that's something that's consistent through the entire episode, even in the stylized opening.
Nice one. Play your cards right and you'll get it soon enough.
So the only one that really has a chance of being Ben Prime is the Omniverse Ben, but that's just a conclusion you can come to through process of elimination. If you have the goal of assigning Ben Prime to one of these Bens, and you just have to pick him because he's the only one that makes sense. But that's not actual proof that that's Ben Prime, it just looks like him. Well, if looking like Ben Prime is all the evidence you need, what about Maximilian's Ben, who looks even more like Omniverse Ben than the one we meet at the end, and he literally dies?
Benjamin!
Also the fact that his Omnitrix functions differently, whereas you can see when he transforms, the square part of the Omnitrix pops up rather than there being a holographic dial. And if you could say, well, that's just how it looks in the reboot, well, then how can you trust the looks alone enough to say that's Ben Prime? You can't. All of these Bens were probably created to be representations of each iteration of the show prior, to serve as a tribute to what came before, and give fans a lot of satisfaction in seeing versions of their hero once again, and also make a lot of meta of jokes, which any fan can appreciate.
Do you also fix toilets? Shouldn't you be called, like, Alien Force or something?
I think we should just take it for what it is and accept the fact that the cast and crew of the reboot were kind enough to try to bring back some of the original continuity flavor, and they did it through 4 tribute versions of the Bens we've seen in the special. But does Ben Prime at least have a chance to cross over with the reboot? That's also something I'm gonna have to say no about. Let's take a look at the overall scale of this episode. This episode makes it clear that they are working on an omniversal scale.
The future of the Omniverse is at stake. It's like all the existing universes rolled into one.
While you could make the argument that the Ben Prime multiverse and the reboot multiverse can at least share the Omniverse, the missing piece of the puzzle is, where's Paradox? If this truly did share the same multiverse as the Prime universe, you can pretty much guarantee Paradox would have been involved. There's just no excuse for Paradox not being there. Not even a mention. Also, adding on to the previous 4 Bens, none of them even seem to know what a Celestial Sapien is. Everything they know about the creature seems to be speculation, and they're just calling him Alien X because they don't know what else to refer to him as. And I mean, Alien X isn't really that unique of a name, so it's very believable that that's just a term they came to address this mysterious new space alien that none of the Bens in the special has ever really seen before. There's also no Galactic Council, which absolutely would have responded to a rogue Celestial Sapien. There's also the fact that Celestial Sapiens just work differently in the reboot. Whereas Prime Celestial Sapiens are casually rewinding time and smashing planets, the reboot Celestial Sapien does do some impressive things, but nothing even close to that kind of scale. He's even defeated by a Tetrament, something we've seen a Prime Celestial Sapien go up against beforehand and defeat in a matter of seconds. So without the true expansion of the Prime continuity multiverse, the different ways Celestial Sapiens operate, the fact they're traveling across dimensions and not time, and how small details between all of the Bens don't exactly line up with Ben Prime's counterpart, I guess it's just safe to say that the reboot's events are just inconsequential compared to the Prime continuity. They don't share the same multiverse or even omniverse, so where would the reboot fit into the Prime continuity? Well, it just doesn't. It's sort of just like a fictional what-if story, totally untied to anything else that exists. It just exists on a completely different realm of existence. For example, in my series 5 years later, I thought it would be a neat idea to make the reboot a fictional television show in Ben Prime's world, sort of like Sumo Slammers or Super Alien Hero Buddy Adventures. So no matter what happens in Reboot Ben's entire omniverse, it just doesn't have an effect on the Prime continuity. I'm not saying the reboot is literally a fictional show in the Prime continuity, that's just what I'm doing in my own comic. But it's an example of how no matter how massive the omniverse gets, they're just 2 different things. They don't collide. Or even comparing the Prime continuity to our real world. No matter how crazy or powerful Celestial Sapiens get or how big the omniversal threats may be, the second we stop watching the show, it just doesn't matter. Because none of it's real. It just doesn't affect our world. So despite both the reboot continuity and the Prime continuity having their own omniverses, they just don't click. And none of the Bens we saw in that special were Ben Prime. Just tributes for us to enjoy. Now this isn't to try to knock them down or degrade them or anything. In fact, I am so thankful that we had a special like Alien X-Tinction. I'm still not over it. It's incredible. I can't believe they really did that. I seriously urge every single person, if you're somehow watching this video without seeing the special, what are you doing? Go watch the special. It's really good. You just have to watch it with the understanding that these Celestial Sapiens don't operate the same way as you've seen in the Prime show, and none of these Bens are Ben Prime. That's all I'm saying. Thank you guys for tuning into this quick and mildly unscripted video. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your week, and as always, keep it fizzy.